tryna take it down, placeful. You just scoring mines, press the bar.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watchlist coming in February 18th, 2020, and Apple cut their guidance. So this is a very conflicting issue for me because last time this happened, it was the end of 2018, early 2019, and the stock doubled from there. So we have to talk about this, what happened. You know, futures reacted to that, even oil. They were actually up earlier. There's stuff going on with China now. We're coming into an important week, and I keep messing up. I keep thinking this is going to be the next earnings week. It's actually going to be next week. So we got a short week ahead of us, but it's still going to be exciting, and we are seeing a shift in stuff. So I want to go over that. I got the keys for tomorrow. I'm going to go over some plays we made on Friday. I ended up doing that TLT that we talked about, and then overall what other companies and plays we're looking out for. So you guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free 99. All we ask is you're positive and respectful. Come watch the trades live. If there's any news updates, anything, if anything breaks down, I mean, that's the spot you want to be at. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watches below. Let us know what you're looking at. You got any plays, comments, any earnings you're setting up for? We still got an interesting earning weeks. I'm going to talk about a few of those, but anything, source that information, post it below. But right off the bat, Apple cuts guidance, and they pretty much listed two reasons. This came out today, even though it's the holiday. It's pretty interesting, and there's a few things interesting to notice about it. But one, they said that the factories and the actual supply and getting everything up there, that is proven to be a difficulty now. Again, we said that shift coming. They're 4 weeks in. They said they want to focus on the health, and that's the priority of everybody. But then also on the other side, they mentioned, and they've mentioned this before, but they said demand for products in China has gone down. Their stores are closed, the foot traffic, the stores are only open now for limited hours. So they said that's an issue. But Tim Cook said there's no update to the revenue guidance. Now, this is very important because he stated that the last earnings, remember, their earnings was just 2-3 weeks ago. And what they said, they gave a wide range for earnings estimates in terms of revenue. They left a $4 billion gap. And he pretty much said that's why we did that. We were kind of expecting it, but a few weeks ago, they didn't see it as that big of an impact. So that will be interesting. It's kind of a soft guidance cut. But again, markets kind of reacted negatively. Besides that, they were up. And now this is one thing to notice here. And this is the next big part of everything, is that the Shanghai Composite is back up. So this was after the Lunar New Year were dropped. We're pretty much right back up there, which is kind of crazy. But the thing was that China said they're going to do more stimulus. And now we got less of a reaction, though, because China recovered. You know, they got those post-Lunar New Year losses. They're up today 2%. But not every country is reacting positive like we saw last time. You're still seeing a mixed board. Again, I think Australia and some parts of Japan, they ended up even being down here. They're not really taking it too well, but we will see by the morning. But this is also, again, interesting because you're seeing more stimulus. Last time the world loved this, but now you guys are seeing less times going by. They're trying to do more stuff. They even cut the rates, but the markets were going up, and some people were saying, because now there's news that China is letting the U.S. come in to start investigating that. I think that would have been bullish if anything, but we saw them lower the lending rates. They put another $29 billion. We want to see how this plays out tomorrow. Again, if there is any other updates with any companies, if it has to do with guidance and the Apple thing, this is going to be important. We really do need to watch how Apple trades tomorrow, the broader effect it has. And again, if this now leads not to, well, I think it's already contagion, but do we start to see this now? Because once you start getting in a cycle of cutting guidance, we've talked about this before. Again, I related this to 2001. This is where it gets important. But again, Apple kind of did a soft guidance cut. So we are going to see, I would expect that fully to affect the markets, more of the Corona updates. Again, this is now entering that shift that it's been 4 weeks, and well, the news isn't really getting any better. Nonetheless, the thing we're waiting for is how do central banks react? What do other countries do? And then the real big thing is what we see from the Fed. So that is what we're going to be watching for tomorrow. I think it's going to be an exciting week, even the week after that. So I hope you guys are ready, but let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I am going to be looking at Apple. As far as the play that we made, I did a pretty big play over the week on Friday. And this was just, again, I talked about it on the watch list. I said I'm kind of expecting a shift. So I wanted to do something a little different. I got 50 or 75 of these 170 contracts on TLT, but the key is I got them for April. So this was a little bit expensive, like $400, $500 there. Very, very far out of the money. 3 standard deviations, less than 1% probability. But this was something I mentioned last week. Again, if I wanted to play kind of volatility in the market and give me a secondary play, it's something something going on with bonds. You see what the Fed's doing. They're even tapering off from the purchases and stuff. I want to see how things react, but even following post X dividend and just how TLT is held up. And then again, we've seen more flattening of the yield curve. This is what I'm going to be looking for. This is even something I've been talking about really over the last 12 months anyway. So setting up a decent position on that. You don't have to get 75 of those. It's something to watch and look out for. Also remember to option trading, but that was what I'm going to be looking for. As far as everything else though, tomorrow, that's one of the plays we made. The next big play, and I don't know how, there's two pieces of news. There's one with the chip maker ban with China, and some of that stuff is actually coming back, but now also two, based on this news that Apple put out, I really want to see how NVIDIA turns out. This is what we played last week. We're still holding some of those plays. We took some profits. That play, it was awesome. They had the good earnings, but I'm expecting this to be a big continuation play. So maybe depending on how the market reacts, globally, that would probably kill those chances. But otherwise, if things are actually pretty decent and maybe NVIDIA does actually just break out and do its own thing, I'm expecting a big continuation on NVIDIA. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to get too disappointed. We are still holding that big position with the March contract. So I want to see how that plays out. But I really do like NVIDIA here. Then I also want to watch Boeing in the name of cutting guidance. I remember even last time that Apple did do this stuff, Boeing had a lot of hiccups there around there too. And then they even had that big earnings. So I want to see what Boeing does here. But they could either be guidance cut on that aspect or even something else. But Boeing is going to be very interesting. Then we got Walmart in the morning. We actually made a play on that at close. And Walmart met the criteria. I mean, I like where it's at. And this is going to be even something to watch again with how the market will react even to the Apple stuff. Is kind of this rotation. And based off of Walmart's last few quarters, it was kind of big. But granted, too, last Walmart earnings, it was in the same scenario. And it didn't do much. So it could, I wouldn't be surprised if they did surprise in some aspect. However, I didn't want to play too big on that. And again, we've been taking some big wins. It doesn't mean we got to keep scaling up after each win. So I went pretty small on this. Got to play for like $70 both ways. I grabbed a March 20th. And now this is something too. You guys remind me. I'll bring this up on the tomorrow's watch list after we get to see how the trading days go by and the pricing of the contracts. But right now, you guys are going to experience something where contracts are going to really start decaying on February 21st, 28th. We want to start going for March and April again. Kind of just the events and how things have been going and the potential to really over and underestimate a lot of what's going on right now and how that's going to affect prices. Time is going to be of the utmost advantage, and it is relatively cheaper to the short term because you're paying a lot with this kind of influx of volatility, and it's messing up the prices. So I am going to start getting a lot of time on a lot of different things, but we got these Marches. I grabbed the 130 call for 22 cents. We got that a little bit before close on Friday, and then we got the 105 put for 39 cents. So they both, the spread went up here. These ones went up too, but again, playing both ways, it's still within one standard deviation or a standard deviation of a half. Not too bad, but I didn't want to spend too much money. We'll see, but depending on how they report, if it is a surprise, this could be a good continuation. So you're going to see that in the morning. Another one that reports this week is Domino's. I know it's kind of weird, but they've had some pretty decent reports they've moved, but I think this one could kind of prove to be a surpriser. So I think they're Wednesday morning or Thursday morning, but I'm going to actually look for that one during this week. I want to see how it plays out here. Then lastly, Microsoft. If Apple has that guidance cut, we already had those Microsoft puts, but I want to see how Microsoft reacts. Microsoft is, again, they've been pretty much a leader of the Dow Jones and the overall market. So if Apple comes down, I want to see, do people rotate into Microsoft? Does Microsoft take the heat? Do we even get a guidance cut from Microsoft? These are some of the things I want to keep in mind, but I like them. And then finally, more continuations. I like Expedia. I am a little bit worried. Again, this Apple thing, it has the potential. I just want to see how the market is going to take it. They might even say it's already priced in, and you might even see Apple rip. So if that's the case, then all bets are on for the earnings continuations. I'm just worried if that does not occur. So I like the Expedia, and then one to set up for, it's going to happen here in 2 weeks, is Booking. So Booking had a nice run up there, but I want to see how it, again, had these travel companies, but I want to see if that comes down and how that plays coming into the earnings. But I like the Expedia. I'm still holding those. I'm going to be looking at Home Depot and McDonald's. Again, both rotational. I'm still expecting Home Depot to have a bigger rip. We have that one play and on them and on McDonald's. So we'll see how that plays out. I want to watch United Airlines again with the travel stocks. Even they announced news on Boeing, but we saw Expedia and all that. But with some more of this coronavirus fears, I want to see if this kind of comes back. back. You might see that second wave continue. Does it start to break down again and go lower, or do we see it bounce, or does it start to kind of establish this as a new range? That is what I want to see. Then I want to watch AMAT. I think they could still be a good continuation, but I do believe it's going to be dependent on the market and everything else. Then watch ABVI. They came up, they came down a little bit. You're going to get the dividend disbursements. They should have happened last week on Friday, but you might see them reflect accounts on Monday. Still want to keep my eye out for them, and some even other health companies, even like UNH and Cigna. We saw how they reacted last week, so maybe that could be part two, especially I just watch for that in just a rotational element. And then lastly, like we said, booking, and then TOT I'm going to be keeping my eye on, and then AT&T and just all the other dividend stocks. Those are the ones I want to watch out for. I want to see how they kind of play out. If anything, everything is going to take a broader move, whether it be everything might come down if they take the Apple news negatively. You might see dividends, and it could prove this week could prove to be a real big rotation week, or we're just going to see a giant push and pull, and it might not be the names you expect. So that's why I am going to keep my eye on some of these dividend stocks and other stocks we might be able to pick up here. So as you're watching this, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure we catch you on the stream tomorrow. Make sure you post your watch list, get your head in the game, balance the budget. We still got earnings. It's a short week. Control that. Remember the option chain and get time. You need to focus right here. Maximize opportunities. Even if you took some wins, you better make sure you pay yourself, take those profits. You don't have to scale up. Let's be smart. We are not giving the money back. We got 5 weeks in a row coming, baby. So let's go. Let's get it. And let's go.